purple people? That guy Perps here, back with another reaction video. I've been looking on Instagram for the last couple of days. I've been getting very, very, very excited. TomMacDonald's been hinting that he's going to be dropping new music. Now, he kept saying Friday. I kept forgetting that he's in a different time zone, so that meant Saturday. So all Friday, I was like, when's it coming in? And I'm trying to work out the time difference, and I woke up this morning. TomMacDonald has dropped his new song. It's called Fake Woke. So, firstly, I just want to thank everyone for being here on this journey with me. I hope that more people come along and experience the ride. And as you can see, we're growing, we're learning. A week ago, your boy didn't know any much thing about computer and camera and mic stuff. But hey, we're here and we're getting better. There's some things in the works. I've got a new camera. Just got to work out how to use it. Connecting up to the computer and everything. But enough on that. Too excited. We need to get into this. This is TomMacDonald, Fake Woke. Hog fam, stand up. Let's get this.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls.
Straight off the bat. Now, I'd much prefer my teenage kids to be listening to TomMacDonald than to Cardi B, just personally. Yeah, straight off the bat. And, you know, we got to protect Tom, man. I got a feeling the industry's going to come at him after this.
One who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb.
And Tom's sober, and he pushes the message of not having to take drugs. You know, he's dealt with them and he's battled his demons, but he's showing you that you can overcome that. And you can be a better person, you know, every day trying to better yourself. It's like, this man is half of the reason I have the motivation and inspiration I have to change my life.
He is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to...
With that Eminem bar, that just shows growth. You know, when he first released his albums, he was very homophobic. He was, I suppose, naive to the world. Like, he was just, that's who he was. But as you grow up and you mature, your mind changes. You know, what you once thought was cool, and, you know, let's go out and do that, you start to go, oh, that's actually pretty immature and stupid. So yeah, I wouldn't bash on Eminem for that. That just shows that he has changed and he has progressed and he has become a better person of himself. He's realised that, you know, his past actions weren't the way that we need to be doing things, and now he sees through the bullshit a little bit more. I guess that's where he's saying with the fake woke, but in that instance, you know, I actually think that's grown maturity. It's not someone that's just come onto the scene and claiming to that this is bad or this is good. He's been around for 20 years. He's been in the industry. He's seen how things have changed. He's realised that, you know, with society, you know, society 20 years ago was a lot different than it is today. A lot more people are a bit more open-minded and a bit... there's still those bigots out there, and there's still a lot of them, but generally people are more accepting of others, and I can only imagine that as we move forward and more people keep fighting for rights, and we highlight different social problems in the world, artists like Tom highlight them a lot. So the more time Tom and other artists like him keep bringing these issues to the surface, the more discussion's going to have about them, and with discussion comes change.
If they voted for Trump, we're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public.
Yeah, he's Canadian. But he lives in America now, so I guess he's American.
The gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change.
He's coming at. He's coming hard. He's coming hard. And this is the thing. Like, you might not always agree with someone's opinion, but you can respect that they have that opinion, and they should then respect that you have your opinion, and you come together through discussion and you meet on a middle ground, and you still might not fully understand, or no, you will understand. You might not fully agree with the other person, but at least you can understand where they're coming from, why they have that point of view, and they can understand you a bit better, and then together we can move forward. We might not fully, it might not be peace and love and everything, but a bit of respect and everything. And yeah, he's talking about white privilege and stuff like that, which in a way society is set up, if just look at your parents, right? Your parents' house is run by them, and you go back and live with your parents. It's still going to be under their rule, because they set up and founded the place. It's their, they've taken over that property. But then if you force them out, and you move in and force them out, and you impose your laws, as your kids grow up, it's based on your rules. So the same with countries and society and everything, because back in the 17, 1800s and 16 to 1800s, the white population went and spread out across the world. It's sort of geared and set up as white society. There was tolerances there for, there's other people in society, but if you look at it, that's where people say that there's white privilege, because the system has been put together sort of by white people for white people, and only through change can we start to, and things are changing. Women didn't used to have any rights, and a lot of that came from the religious teachings and stuff back in the day. But as we grow and we mature and we find, and I guess the term woke, but I don't really like to use the term woke. There are some people that are woke. They look through all the bullshit and all that, but I think it's more just as we grow and we see, or some of us can see the history and the past mistakes, we can then empathize with that and see a better future, and that better future is what we're striving to achieve.
We say it's homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
And that's true. You look at the media. There's a lot of songs. Racism, when you break it down, is really those in power causing a divide between the lower classes, so that we keep bickering and fighting, and they grow and grow and grow. It's like, people when they, you see in the movies all the time, there's these two gangs, we should go and arrest them or whatever. Oh no, let's just wait and see how many of them they take out see if they take out each other. That's sort of what I see the attitude of a lot of governments and people in power. They'd rather have the poor and everyone, clumped together in a little area, not give them the services, and just hope that, they take themselves out, and then there's one less problem they have to worry about. But as we've seen, people don't do that. We realise that, oh, hey, this is what's happening, and those people are the ones that fight for their rights. And then they're the ones that are labelled, extremist or not extremist, because there are very, very, very extremists, but I'm just talking general society, like someone in a poor neighborhood, you know, wants to fight for change and get new equipment in their area, and the affluent areas will claim that, you know, it's not a non-important issue because it doesn't affect them. That's where I was trying to say with that.
They realized that they don't need the change. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so.
Now, I don't know what other people say, like why people say Tom can't make a hook, or they don't like Tom's hooks. You try write a hook. You know, like this man, like it's catchy. I've heard like so many worse hooks, and you know, there's a couple of his hooks that, you know, he gets labelled a bit corny or whatever, but the amount of music that this guy makes, you know, there was a period there, I think it was only in the last, like only January, that he took a step back and let Nova take the spotlight because she was releasing a new album after a while, so he didn't release any music for a bit. But before that, all through quarantine and everything, it was a music clip, a music video, every week. Every week. The work rate of this man is incredible. Like him and Nova as a team, they're a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be unstoppable. And anyone that doesn't know, Nova has released a new album. She's been signing copies. Tom hand signs copies. You just go to their Instagram, you'll see piles and piles and piles. You know, they appreciate their fans. They understand that without us, they're just people making music. You know, they won't have, you know, the message getting out. Like, they really do appreciate their fans.
They won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake, woke, same old safe zones. They so fake, woke, facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home.
And that's the thing. As you grow up, you know, like, once you have a family, you start to, well, a lot of people do. Some people don't. They're just oblivious and they'll still listen to that sort of music. But yeah, you really become sensitive, or more sensitive, to what people are saying and the meaning behind it. It's not just music anymore. Like he was saying, you know, people talking about slaying hoes. Now, as a father of two daughters, I don't want that image, you know, out there. You know, like, you have a bit more pride and respect for your family and for the situation, and you're like, well, no, I'd rather my girls grow up like, you know, Lady Leisha or Snow the Product than like a Cardi B or a Megan Thee Stallion. You know, like, yeah, they're making their own music and they're doing their own thing, but the image that they're putting out to people and the following that they have, and then the influence they're going to have on those young minds are then going to, you know, how many 12-year-olds do you see twerking and stuff? You know, it's yeah. You know, think what you want, but yeah, I think that there's levels and ways we need to behave, and I don't think that that's really appropriate.
People screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name, when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family.
Yeah. With Black Lives Matter, you know, like I mentioned in a previous video, it's like everyone is getting treated bad. But if you look across the world, people of colour get treated worse. So until those people get treated bad, like the rest of us, then it's like saying that, okay, well, you guys all get treated bad, but we get treated worse, so we don't matter. So until we matter, no, you know, no one else should. That's what I got from the message. it's then been influenced by political and everything else. But at its core, it's, it is, that is the movement. Like, until everyone's treated equal, we're not all equal. So.
When the system's screwing everyone exactly the same, I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all a genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first.
Yeah, that's so true. And it seems to be that, in a situation, if you ever don't want the cops there, that's when they're there. But when you do need them, they're nowhere to be found. So I don't agree with defunding the police. They need more funding for better training. With better training will come a higher level of professionalism. My time in the military taught me a lot about, being professional, having a higher standard to yourself, and not just letting yourself, just not going with emotions, but actually thinking about what you're doing and trying to, especially in society. Like, there's time, if you're hanging with your mates or your boys, or you're just with your fam and that, you can act a fool, you can whatever. But in society, you do have to show a little bit more respect to people, because a lot of people are used to being disrespected. And you'll see people that walk down and just want to be themselves out in public, whatever, and they just disrespect everyone. They're the ones that cause issues in society. I'm not saying like we should all be sheep and just follow the thing, but in your own mind, you have to realize how you want to be portrayed. And if you come off acting, stupid, or just loud and rowdy and whatever, that might not necessarily be the best way to get your message across. They say, you attract more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. Food for thought.
Ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know.
Like I was saying before, we divide ourselves.
To get peace and wonder why it isn't working.
Yeah. He always can't, like, every line this guy says is controversial, or gets not controversial per se, but conversational. Like he was saying before, there's hate speech and things you hate. What he's saying isn't necessarily controversial. It's conversational. It'll get the conversation started. But then, because there's a conversation started, there's obviously two opinions. If there's two opinions, then it's deemed to be controversial. A lot of it's not controversial. A lot of it just needs to be discussed. And like I said, with discussion comes understanding, and with understanding comes more respect and empathy, and then we can find a way to work together. But while the elites keep, designing things to, make the world better, but it actually causes more divide, that's where the issue lies. Same with, people that use the N-word, okay? That word originated from hate. So if you're born from hate, you're going to contain hate. Now, I understand how the culture wants to take that word back and make it their own because of all the pain and everything. But imagine if that culture also didn't say that word. Because when they say it and other cultures then say it, and then they get angry at them for saying it, that causes a divide. And like I fully get, and it's your culture and do what you want, but just as an outsider looking in, I can see the divide that it causes. And I just wonder to myself, like, if we didn't use these racial words, racial slurs, even you know, white people have, you know, we call people that are, you know, poorer than us, you know, oh, they're white trash, they're scum, they're whatever. If we didn't use these sorts of words, and we didn't teach our kids these sorts of words, like the good words that are lost through people using, you know, lower vocabularies all the time. Like you look at the speech in the 1800s, it was very prim and proper, and they used these like massive words to describe stuff. We've lost those good words, but we've kept all these bad words, you know. So
use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society.
Man, I'm sorry that this video is going to be so long, guys, but everything that this man says causes you to think.
Sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate.
That is so true. Same with history. If you just wipe over history and just change something, people will just learn that changed history. We need to understand everything. The more information we have, the better we can understand. Politicians think that we're all stupid, but we're not. We're dumbed down by the information that's been disseminated by them. So if we're taught in schools all the information, yeah, there's going to be some people that'll struggle to, you know, with that concept of and grasping that information, but they will then be guided and helped by the like 80% of students that do grasp the concepts. And if you have a valid point and you can back it up with facts, it should be a point of discussion, not a point of argument, but a point of discussion. And we all need to keep our emotions in check when we're having discussions, so as not to turn them into arguments.
They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression instead of asking God for the strength?
See, an amen doesn't come from man, woman, etc. It comes from what I've read. Back the Latin speech for the prayer. That they, you know, oh man, it's something like that, and it's a longer word that's been shortened. But yeah, I don't think it came from, you know, sex, you know, or gender. And people are very sensitive to, you know, pronouns and everything now. But if you don't let people know how you want to be referred to, they're just going to refer to what they've been conditioned to see in society. So again, they've only been given these facts when all these facts are there, and then they try and open people, like, and then when you get older, people are very closed-minded to those other facts because, oh, they're extreme views, when they're not. They've been facts all the time, you just never taught them.
They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning? We cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
Oh, and he does stuff like that too. Like, that will trigger a lot of people to, what did you just say? What? But the feminist movement is about equality. Equality isn't bringing down the people above you down to your level and hate bashing on them. It's fighting for them to bring you up to their level, so that everyone's treated equal. The same with racism, the same with anything like that where there is an inequality. If we're all, you know, trying to bring each other down, then society's going to go down. What we need to do is bring each other up. So if you look at a male friend, and you have a certain type of way you deal with them, and you look at a female friend and you treat them differently, ask yourself why. Well, why is that? And is that in a way of respect, or is it a way of degradation? Are you degrading someone based on your preconceived ideas, or are you trying to treat everyone the same? To me, feminism isn't about hating on men. There are a lot of men that are feminists. They want women to have the same rights, the same pay, the same respect, the same everything. If you earn your position, you've earned your position. Doesn't matter what gender, sexuality, anything. We're a human being that has made our way from birth to this point. We should all be anyone on that point should be treated with the same. There are classes in society, and the point is you can jump classes in society by hard work, but you shouldn't look down on someone because they're a lower class. If anything, you should, like I've said in previous videos, the only time to look down on someone is if you're giving them a hand to help them up. If we keep that mindset, and lots of religions and all that teach, like I know a little bit of teachings of the Christian religion, but do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the teaching that, and no one seems to follow that. All these people that they claim to be highly religious, and they follow everything else, they'll do everything else in the Bible, like all the little ridiculous rules that they have to follow, but then they'll turn to a homosexual person, they'll turn to a transgender person, they'll turn to a female if they're male or whatever, and they'll treat them differently, with hate or disrespect, when they want to be treated with respect and with love. So
most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
Tom,
Fake woke, facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke, same old, same songs. They so fake woke, facts don't care about your feelings.
never did the video again, as always. Guys, that was TomMacDonald, Fake Woke. There's his socials there. Head over to his Instagram if you want to follow him. He always releases upcoming snippets and little previews, behind the scenes stuff of videos that are coming out. This one was very hidden though. A few photos that I did see was him in masks and stuff, so totally threw me off because I was expecting something about society at the moment with mask wearing, etc. But he didn't seem to do any of that. He was bringing up pretty much every issue in society. And like I said before, guys, if you don't agree with someone's opinion, that's fine. You've got your opinion, they've got their opinion, but you can at least respect or try and understand where they're coming from a little bit. And if we can all do that, like there were things in here that Tom said that I didn't fully agree with. He might have been saying it in jest, he might have been throwing something in there to cause conversation, but at the same time he comes from a place of sincerity, and he really, from his music and what I've seen on Instagram and stories and everything about this man, he is true to what the music he does. He won't let people censor him. That's why he's independent. So yeah, you might not always agree with what he says, but at least try and have an understanding of his viewpoint and why he's saying those things. Try and digest that, and then if you want to have a discussion, rather than just come out, oh yeah, why'd you say that? Have a respectful, intelligent, intelligent conversation based on your viewpoint and your facts, and then throw them together and meet in the middle. We shouldn't be hating on someone just for an opinion. we can call them out if they're, complete bullshit. But to call someone out, you need to have your facts and you need to be able to back it up with a conversation. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of this one down in the comments. Again, Tom and Nova, they're an incredible team. They do amazing things. Nova always does the videos. Tom helps her out on her videos. Yeah, what can I say? Hangover Gang, much love and appreciation for you all. Yeah, if you like what you're seeing here, guys, feel free to jump on board, become part of the Purple fam. Until next time, this is Perps. I'm out.